kind of visually look at it, and you're going to drill a hole right there. Okay? So I'm going to hold that off. You just want to pop a hole into that air chamber. Now, you're going to lay your mouthpiece right over that hole. Use whatever method you can to hold that steady. I'm just going to put the epoxy on it, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it steady right on there, like so. I'm going to fill in those gaps inside there. Maybe you don't have to, but I like to because it makes sure that everything holds together good and gives it a little bit of weight. I'm kind of just going to let it dribble in there, and then I'm going to finish it with JB Weld, especially in the gaps around the mouthpiece. I just kind of fill it all in. On the bottom, I fill it all in, and once the JB Weld dries hard, I've got a couple of different files. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I got a couple of different files that I file it nice and flush. The tube, like I said before, if you want to put a mouthpiece, I'm just going to give you a quick tutorial. Just take a blank cartridge, drill it out or whatever, and put it over the tip if you want. It'll end up looking like that. Just however you want to make the mouthpiece. I'm not going to go over that. The important part is that, you see it? The pin coming out of the bottom. That's what makes this bad boy so awesome. Alright? You need to take your atomizer. Let me take the awesome off of my tank there. I've already got the no leak Addy on there. We'll explain that later. You're going to love it. Alright. Take a toothpick. Right? Kind of break it off where it's kind of flush to break the point off of it. My mods only work with debridged atomizers. You can use the no leak Addy mod that I make, or you can make it yourself, or you can just debridge any old Addy that you got and they still work pretty good. But the no leak Addy is the bomb. We're going to talk about that later though. Take the toothpick, go all the way down, and rest it on top of the coil. Okay? Then you're going to take your razor blade and you're going to mark that toothpick exactly, so you'll have a gauge of exactly how deep the coil is into the Addy, right? And I got my mark. I've cut it halfway through. I'm going to break it off just right, like so. So now I know from the very edge of where the cartridge stops up against the Addy how far that pin has to go to just meet the coil. Can you see that? Take that toothpick. So I know I've got to cut that pin down to right at or just below that. You don't want it touching the coil, but you want it to be barely just above the coil. Okay? So I've got a good idea of where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and trim that down. You can use a die grinder. Don't snip it, because if you snip it, it'll pinch the tube and it'll close it off. You have to use a die grinder or one of these little grinder attachments that go on Dremels, but I'll use one of these. And I'll be right back and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, I've cut it off. I'm going to take my little measuring piece and I'm going to make sure that I've got it right, and it looks like I did. Okay, we're just about done. That's what you'll have right there. You got the pipe coming out of the bottom. You notice if you squeeze it, a little drop will form out. You'll also notice the fluid doesn't come out real fast. Whenever you're smoking on this, you just kind of give it a little squeeze. You don't have to see how much you're squeezing in, because if you squeeze too much, with the no leak Addy or with the regular Addy, if it floods it when you let go, it'll suck back the excess into the level of the pipe. Put it in like so. Give her a few squeezes. and you're rocking and rolling. You can hold it upright if you want. I like it because you can sit it down like that and it kind of stays good. Here's one that I have that's finished. It's, you know, it's all painted. It's got the nice little mouthpiece on it and whatever. You know, if you want to do that, that's you have creative license on that one. But there you go. You just made your own fatty. Catch you next time.